All right. Hello, everyone. We're back. It's another week. We're still doing this podcast. And
we are
as a part
against
of
all
us,
odds.
Against all odds. And honestly, help our odds. Help our odds. Share this podcast. I'm just going to get right into it. A moment of thirst.
And I'm not even posting an ass photo. This is truly a true moment of thirst for me.
Yeah, this is a true moment of thirst for Lauren. And I hope everyone can recognize the authenticity in her voice. Please share this podcast with a friend, with a comrade, a coworker, somebody you hate, somebody you want to connect with. Share it. Maybe you've got an icebreaker coming up and you don't know what to say. People are like, oh, what's a fun fact? You could say, I listened to the Pop Apologists.
That's this podcast that no one else listens to. No one's ever heard of it. And it's this totally random podcast. And if you also want to waste hours of your one wild and precious life, check it out.
We're actually at a really interesting spot right now where you could get in at the ground level. You can get in on this podcast while nobody listens to it. And that's the really special thing is that right now, a year later, I cracked it. A year later, we are still in the point where it's niche. It's still super, super niche.
It's super niche.
You're not going to be behind the times if you're signing people up right now. Like, everyone, get in on the ground level. Let's be early adopters of the Pop Apologist podcast.
If you recommend this to your friends will know that at one point you were listening to a very obscure podcast. Which,
yes.
I mean,
and that point,
exciting.
The point at which they're going to be able to look back and realize that it was obscure at one moment in time. Who's to say when that will be? But It could be tomorrow. It could be the week after. Like, at any moment we could blow up, and you guys want to be there.
At any second. So that's the thing. You got to share this podcast now because at any moment we could blow up. Chandler.
Yeah.
Great point.
Thank you.
Yes, we would love it if you guys would share the pod. That's our one plea. But Chandler, on that note,
I'll share it. Also, I have one little thing to say, one last thirsty plug. I was talking to some friends this weekend about leaving us a review, and they were like, oh, I wouldn't have even known to leave a review. Y'all, leaving reviews is huge. Leaving reviews is the way that we grow, the way that we show that our podcast is worthwhile. Leave a review. If you have been thinking about it, I don't care if you copy paste something I don't care if you copy paste something from a Goodreads article about Eat, Pray, Love and then just slap it on our podcast review. I don't care. Just leave something positive. 5 stars are nothing. If you're going to leave anything less than 5 stars, please don't leave us a review.
Right.
But please leave us a review, share the podcast, do the good work.
Chandler, spoiler alert, you don't even have to type anything. You can just leave 5-star review.
You can just leave us a 5-star review. You don't have to come up with something witty. No problem.
We cannot hit the 4-minute mark while still being thirsty. We must move forward.
Okay. Let's move
forward. Chandler, we totally glossed over this last episode, but we never really discussed, and I think we should now, the fact that last episode, on the heels of, begging people to share, last episode, we had our very first sponsor.
We did. Guys, how do you feel? How do you feel, Lauren? I want to know how the audience feels at some point.
I feel scared because I feel like I'm nervous for when we have another sponsor today. I'm nervous for when these sponsors find out that no one listens to this podcast.
Actually, maybe we should cut that out. No, I mean, these sponsors know what's good for them. They're getting in at the ground level.
Oh, yeah, totally.
They're getting in with a niche market, people who are, know what's fresh, know what's new. They know what
they're investing because they know when this thing eventually blows up, a bunch of people are going to listen to old episodes.
Right.
And then they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to check out Canva Pro.
Right.
It's like 2030. And they're like,
Canva heard Pro. Of HelloFresh.
I know, but it's but they're probably already change brands. So if you want to sponsor this podcast, you got to keep the same brand name for at least the next decade. It's the only
right. Well, actually, honestly, no guarantees though. We could blow up at any moment.
We promise nothing. Okay, Chandler,
Lauren,
how are you? It's so great to see your face. It's so great to be back on video with you.
I know it's great to be back on video. I just took some Advil.
Great.
So I'm all liquored up for this podcast. mom would say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing well. I'm glowing. I'm basking in this beautiful light. Tell me I don't look beautiful.
You look great. I'm honestly really irritated with you because you can sit in front of your window, the natural light streams through, you look like a model. Meanwhile, I'm tucked away in a bedroom in my apartment, and it's just not quite the same.
Well, you look stunning. You've got your tennis bracelet on. I'm
I
currently
do.
wearing stolen hoops from a sister who will
Mm.
remain nameless.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, are those my lodgings behind you?
That's actually a good point. You're coming to visit me. We have 2 guest bedrooms. I would
Mhm.
like to put you
Not
in
to
the guest bedroom.
flex. That is a flex, by the way, to have 2 guest bedrooms. Let's check your flexes.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is just logistical for about the story I'm about to talk
Okay.
about. Um, we do have 2 guest bedrooms, and I would like to put you in the one that is also my office, that has my desk and like everything in it,
Why?
because
So you
you're my
feel less
sister.
bad
And
about
then
coming in and working?
I will give our no, I'm not going to come in and work, but it's like at least I'll give our friends the other guest bedroom with that is just a bed, more of a
Yeah, that's
refined
great.
experience. Are you okay with that?
1,000%. I
You
can be flexible. How are you doing? What's going on with you?
I'm honestly so happy to be home. I just have to say that right off the bat. I got home like a week ago. No, yeah, like Thursday. I got home Thursday, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. It's just so great to be in my own space,
Mhm.
like back to my routine. I just love the sun. Like there's so much silence and quiet. It's a beautiful existence.
It is really nice to be alone yet again.
It
I
really
felt the
is.
same way. Yeah.
Hmm. Um, well, I wanted to talk to you about a few things today. Do you have anything
Okay.
else you want to
I have a
discuss?
funny story I want to tell you about mom that I've been saving for the pod, but I will
Is this the
wait.
one you were going to put on the Patreon because it was too saucy?
Oh,
Or
wait,
is this
yeah, sorry,
another
never mind.
story?
I'm saving this for the Patreon. How could I forget?
Okay.
Everyone, that's a great plug. If you wanna hear this saucy little story, this little sexy little minx of a story, listen to it on the Patreon, sign up.
The thirst is back at 7:32 at the 7-minute mark, but that's okay. Okay, Chandler, this week, I don't know if you caught it. Did you catch the 60 Minutes episode that came out?
I'm not 75, so no, I didn't catch the 60 Minutes episode. The only time I've watched 60 Minutes was with grandma, like, may God rest her soul, like, no. I
60
do
Minutes is
not
a great program.
I actually do
Okay?
hey, and people who say program, also 65, 70, 80.
It's the best part of my Sunday. You know how old
Okay.
people always call Sunday or
Sunday,
Sunday? Is
Sunday,
there Wednesday, Sunday?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway, I digress. Can I play for you a clip from 60 Minutes? This is something I wanted to discuss
please.
with you on the podcast.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so this is a multimedia presentation. Absolutely. Thank you for noticing. Okay. Chandler, it's about a group called the Oath Keepers. Okay. And the Oath Keepers are um
Teens.
they're not teens. They're basically like a far right militia group who are preparing essentially for civil unrest, a civil war, the end of days, a nuclear attack. So I'd just like you to listen to this,
Great.
okay?
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
here we go.
Our guys are very experienced. We have active duty law enforcement in our organization that are helping to train us. We can blend in with our law enforcement. In fact, in a lot of cases, our training is much more advanced because of our military backgrounds.
I don't really care
There's
about any
nothing
of
I love
this.
more than my AR-15 and my chainsaw, and I don't know which one I like more.
Jim Arroyo invited us to a meeting to see for ourselves. The crowd, mostly retirees, meet twice a month.
Feel how warm that is?
To talk about how to survive
Could be a good place for you to
disasters
meet
like
someone.
forest fires,
These things are great.
attacks on the power grid, and civil war.
So that's why we
sure.
talk about civil unrest, civil war. It's not a joke. This can happen, and we need to be ready for it.
Okay, Chandler.
Wait, when
I
do they
think we
meet?
need
When and where do they meet?
twice a month.
Is there anything virtual going on for COVID?
I'll get you the address. No, they don't wear masks. They're not doing any virtual meetings. Okay, don't take away their freedoms. How dare you?
Okay, sorry.
Don't take away their liberties to go to church and to convene. Anyway,
Mhm.
Chandler, this is the point. This is what came to my mind. I saw this clip on Twitter. Okay,
Yeah.
and to bring so I don't age myself, I saw it on Twitter, people, and I just thought, you know what? Honestly, like we get to the point where there's a civil war or civil unrest,
Right.
or the power grid has been attacked, any sort of time where you're going to think, oh, I wish I had met twice a week in a warehouse with a bunch of people that have their own like homemade weapons. Like if that ever becomes the reality, like eject, sign me out.
Goodbye.
There's not a chance in hell. There's not a chance in hell. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. Who wants to live through an attack on our electrical grid?
I couldn't agree more, first of all. Second of all, I have an extremely weak will to live. And it's getting weaker by the year, okay?
For
I
sure.
don't
Your best years are
get
behind you.
Yeah, 100% behind me. I do not understand the proclivity to wanting to survive Armageddon. Why?
No.
I don't want
Why?
to. I barely want to survive normal everyday life. I don't even have children. I'm just like a working professional. I barely want to survive this. I don't get it. You know, I don't understand. Like I literally I'll get sick or I'll feel like I'm getting sick, and I literally think to myself, well, at least I don't have to go to work tomorrow, and I have a great job. Like I don't have it in me to survive literally anything. And I
You're
don't know.
barely getting by till the next Monday, let alone through Armageddon, let alone through the end of days.
I wish for tragedies all the time, just so that they would make time pass faster. Okay.
Like the idea that we're going to be, like all living in bunkers and eating dry food. For what? To emerge into
For
what
what?
kind of world?
To go back to work?
I mean, if you're lucky. Otherwise, you rebuild civilization. I'm sorry, unsubscribe. That's not
No, thank
happening
you.
for me. I am used
Mm-mm.
to an existence with DoorDash, with Uber
Mm-hmm.
Eats,
Mm-hmm.
okay, with
Laundry
luxurious
in
scrolling.
unit.
I haven't been bored since 2006, okay? I scroll my phone whenever the seconds get slow. I am not ready to go back in time. I'm not, I might maybe a pioneer blood and stock, but that is not the woman I am in 2021 and
No.
henceforth in this century.
Yeah. I think honestly, Lauren, this is genetic. This is stock to some degree. Mom one time was talking about how if we were to get bombed and terrorists were to land on the San Clemente shores, that she would,
Mhm.
quote, take 40 Ambien and call it a day.
Well, it
Mom,
was always,
go
these
ahead.
comments were always buttressed against dad's remarks because
Mm,
dad's always like, at some point we're gonna have to go underground, like, civilization, like it's gonna collapse. We can't keep going like this forever.
right.
End of days are nigh at hand.
I think dad has actually toned it down a little bit in the past 18 months, but prior to that, our
There was
father
a time
was extremely into prepping. Like he was
into end of world.
I mean, I've actually seen some of the supplies because I borrowed them for a camping trip. And it was immense. Like there were plenty of resources in the U-Haul storage units across San Clemente.
Nothing is better than mom being like, I don't need 100 pounds of dried pasta at the end of the world. I need 100 Ambien and to say goodnight. Okay. Like, I'm out.
Goodbye. Right.
Eject.
I,
Totally.
yeah. I don't get it. I don't even like watching those shows because they just don't resonate with me. I like people
Absolutely
like on
not.
Below Deck who are exhausted from a day of serving champagne, and that's too
Yeah.
much for them. And then they're
Th-
completely fatigued. That's like kind of the wavelength that I'm operating at.
That's actually like the worst form of human existence I'm willing to live in. Like, that's
Mhm.
it. Like, that's where the bottom is.
Right. They're exhausted from living on a yacht all day. Like, I
Exactly.
get it.
And like
I
having to
feel
deal with
you.
rich people.
Right.
Our capacity for despair peaks at below deck third stew, for
Right.
sure. Like, let alone, like, I remember one time our dad was like, hey, I'm going to buy you a pair of, he called to ask my shoe size, to ask for a pair of boots and like for end of days for when we'd have to like hike everywhere. It's just like, I'm not hiking across Rancho San Clemente, okay, to go meet with everyone else who's prepped to try to like gather the goods. Like, I'm sorry, not a chance in hell. Like, it's been a
Mm-mm.
great experience here on earth.
Right.
Okay. I've
Thank you.
peaked.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
And insane.
And yeah, good night and good luck.
Yeah.
Another
Great.
thing.
I'm glad we've gotten that out of the way. Our exact feelings about the end of the world,
Yeah,
so that no one's
stop.
going to be like, fighting for the pop apologists to stay alive.
Don't invite me to your preppers meeting. Invite me to your luxurious exit meeting. Okay. We all can put all of our end of days like preparations in a small capsule, if you catch my drift. Okay.
Are you asking to become a member of Heaven's Gate? Because this is sounding like.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not doing Armageddon. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
I'm doing
Right.
a swift departure with Deb.
Okay.
Chandler, I had another
Lauren.
thing I wanted to discuss with you.
Mhm.
Okay. I had an epiphany this week that I
Yeah.
would like your thoughts on.
Okay.
So Kagan, I was on his phone and I was on Instagram.
What do you mean?
And I
You were
went
on
to
his phone? Like you were just like, you check his
I,
phone?
I do not check his phone, but I don't know why I was on his phone. I think I was just like, he handed it to me and then I like reflexively went on Instagram because that's like where my like fingers, my muscle memory goes.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm just like, find the sherbet colored like icon, go there. And anyway,
Sherbet colored icon. Oh, that's so funny. It's so sherbet colored. It's beautiful. It's delicious.
It is. It's true. It's truly
sublime.
It's sublime. It's an LSD tripper's dream. Anyway, I went on the icon and I'm on the explore page and then I realized I'm not on my phone anymore. Okay.
Mhm.
Because the explore page, it's a bunch of like pictures of like muscle aches, like pictures of like graphs, like chiropractic charts.
Right.
And then it's a bunch of pictures of like fishing and just like boring crap. And I'm like, I
Right.
need to go back to where's the phone with the engagement rings and the brides and the hot chicks in the bikinis? Because that's my phone.
Right.
And then I had this dramatic realization. And this is what I want to say to single gals everywhere. Okay. If you want a shortcut to knowing who you're dealing with when you're dating, okay, this is going to save you a ton of time. You don't need to go. You don't need to date someone for a year.
Love it.
You know where I'm going with this. You don't need to date someone for a year. You don't need to see how he interacts with his mom.
No road trip.
No, you don't need to see how he treats the server.
Right.
Just go on his explore page. Just find his phone, get into it, run away from him. I don't care if it's the first date, okay? And you're just like, hey, manufacture this. Say your phone has died. Be like, I'm so sorry, my phone's dead. Can I check
I got
yours?
a message. My roommate's going to ask me on Instagram. Let me just message my roommate on Instagram really quick.
My roommate said to make sure that I was safe. I need to text her. I'm so sorry. We just always do this. And she's going to call the police if I don't. Do that. Get on his phone. Then run to the front of the restaurant so he doesn't see what you do next. Okay? Furiously go to his Instagram. What's on the explore page?
Send yourself screenshots.
By his explore page, ye shall know him. Okay? And that is what I have to tell young women everywhere. You will know exactly who you're dealing with. Is it a bunch of naked chicks? Is it a bunch of thoughts?
Adjacent, yeah.
Exactly. Is it poor man's Em Ratas? Or is it humble fishing photos? Okay? What is on his explore page? That is how you will know a man in 2021 in the most efficient manner possible.
This makes me want to go on my own explore page and see what I'm looking at.
Yeah, see what it is.
Should I do it live?
Let's do it live. While Chandler's doing that, I'm just going to say, like, literally, I swear to you, run to the front of a restaurant and then just be like, I'm so sorry. I thought I saw a celebrity. Like, just make up an excuse, right, for how you had to run away with his phone. Okay?
Right.
I want everyone to take this advice.
Okay, mine's super pure. Thank God.
What is your explore page?
I'm seeing some images of toast, some bruschetta. I'm seeing an image of an ice cream bar covered in cookie dough.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing some beautiful cakes. And beautiful cakes.
Show us the whole explore page. You have to keep it real.
So there's cakes.
Okay, so it's a lot of food.
Desserts. There's some celebrity stuff here. There's Nicki Minaj. There's some some food and nutrition stuff. Okay. Here's the girl from Charmed. Okay, that's super pure.
That is pure.
More food. I mean, you haven't seen any nudity thus far, have you?
No.
Matthew McConaughey.
Mine is working out in brides, which is really the time of my life I'm in.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, explore pages reveal the private person.
I'm about to text Mr. New York before this episode drops, so he can't change anything and be like,
I would just
send me a screenshot of yours. I'm not going to see him until Saturday.
But he's not Chandler. He is not. Just be like, hey, can you promise me? Just be like, promise me. Will you listen to this episode with me? And then be like, can I play it from your phone? Okay. And then go on his explore page. Okay.
No, I actually probably know what his explore page is, and it's probably a photography, and
you think you know.
I know.
You think you know. Trust but verify, bitch. Okay. I'm telling you, How else? There's the thing, you guys. He
It's
can
just, like,
pretend to
probably
be polite
nature
to the
and
server.
photography.
He can
Let's
pretend
hope.
to be sweet
Yeah.
to his mother. He'd be like, I love my mom. I call her every week. Don't
Mm-mm.
believe a word he says
Don't
until
believe a
you've
word he
seen his
says.
Explore page.
Right, right.
That's my PSA to young
At
women
his Explore
everywhere.
page, you shall know him.
Yep.
Snaps to that. Add it to the merch list. That's
Yeah.
great.
Thank you. It was my revelation. Okay. I felt like I needed to share that.
Right. Also, I will say for the YA audience that we have, the small sampling, also maybe by their TikTok feed, their TikTok algorithm as well.
Anytime there's any sort of algorithmically driven content given based on what they are already searching
and liking,
that's
and
what you're
interacting with.
exploring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't care
All right.
what age you are. You don't have to be YA. If you are dating, this is what you need to do.
Wow.
I don't care if you've been with
Godspeed.
someone for 5 years. Okay. Go
Do
to
it.
his Explore page. Okay. Chandler.
Is that it? Anything else?
We have an excellent interview today.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
That was an excellent little those were some excellent tidbits, and the audience is in for a treat.
You guys
Because
are.
we have like one of our favorites, like our heroes on.
Mm-hmm. Totally. She's a pioneer of, celebrity gossip on Instagram and podcasting. She is amazing and so funny. The one and only Not Skinny But Not Fat, aka Amanda Hirsch. We're so excited. We get into all things. We get into keeping up. We talk
Kravis.
about Kravis, exactly. We talk about Em Rata. It's basically like a huge diatribe about Em Rata. So
we can't really talk about Em Rata without, really talking about Em Rata. So buckle up, skip over, whatever. It's great though. She has some amazing thoughts.
It's a fabulous episode. Buckle in, baby. And we love you so much. Enjoy. This is a very special day because we have the one and only Amanda Hirsch of Not Skinny But Not Fat, podcast host and Instagram huge personality. We're so excited to have you on the pod.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
We honestly have been following you for a very long time. We love you.
I remember where I was the day our older sister said to us, "Are you following Not Skinny But Not Fat?" And I'm like, "What? No, who?" I'm like, "Is this a person, place, or thing? Like what?" And she showed us your account, and I was like, "Okay, this girl is like one of us. I'm obsessed." And so this is just like an out of body experience for me to be like talking to you now.
So basically, your older sister should be my fave because she's an OG. Is what you're saying?
She's a true OG, like years ago. And I think, sorry, okay, I'm gonna get cringy right now. I think I followed your personal account like pretty soon thereafter, like a weirdo. So apologies for that.
Wait, I didn't even know Amanda had a personal account.
I
That's
don't.
so embarrassing.
Delete, edit, and post. I don't. Seriously,
okay, we'll edit that out.
No, I'm kidding. But
okay.
Seriously, I got scared once where Instagram hated me and I was shadow banned every day. I don't know why. Every day. No, but also I don't know why. And then it was so funny because I was like, why is this happening? Post Chelsea Handler's nipple. Why is this happening? Post other really absurd thing. But it wasn't fair because they weren't getting shadow banned. You know what I mean? There are different rules for different people. But it was so funny because it's I don't get it. It's just her nipple. Free the nipple. But yeah, no, my personal, I feel it's such a weird thing now because it's personal accounts are just have different vibes. You know what I mean? It's just I saw today, my cousin that I don't talk to, which I hope she doesn't listen to your podcast, but she was like, today I'm eating an egg white and an avocado. And I'm like, sorry, but who legit cares? No, because who, do people care? When you follow people from your high school, do you care what they're eating for breakfast? I know I post it, but some people actually care.
Egg white and avocado is not a new combo. Sorry to your cousin, no tea, no shade.
Right. Exactly. So it is. So my personal account, I was using it, literally my last post is probably in 2018. And it was when you would just hashtag the whole thing, me and my BFF, great, black and white, filter, no filter. So it's not an interesting vibe over there. Yeah.
Well, I say keep it private, and I do apologize for that like cringy baby me moment, being like, yeah, I'm gonna follow her everywhere I possibly can. This
Well,
is not
it's
like
good
intrusive
because
at
if
all.
I get deleted, you'll be like one of few. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you'll know. I'll be like, update everyone. I've been taken down. Yeah.
Wait, okay, I want to go back to, since we are talking about the beginning, going back to the OG days, how the name Not Skinny But Not Fat came out or came to you, and then how like you started doing this.
Well, I love when people are like, oh my God, not skinny but not fat means like not here nor there, like somewhere in the middle, and that's okay. And I'm like, totally. But really, I was
Nuance.
being like, I love it. Love that you can like take it wherever you want to go. But I was being very literal, I think. Like if I
Oh, really?
can
Okay.
relate to the person that I was in that moment, like I think, because my whole life, like not to get all, whatever, but I was like not skinny. Like it was a very like I could always say like I'm not skinny. Like all my friends are really skinny, and I'm not skinny. So I was always like knew that.
Yeah.
And but I was also like, and then your friend would be like, well, you're not fat. So I knew I wasn't fat. Not that either.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone's gonna be like, who is this stupid bitch? But it was, like when you go to sleep at night, and this is like for real, like when you go to sleep at night and you have these thoughts and you're like, tomorrow I'm like gonna be vegan, or like tomorrow I'm gonna like sign up for Zumba.
Oh.
Like, so it was legit a night thought of me like, tomorrow I'm gonna open an Instagram account and call it Not Skinny But Not Fat and post memes. And my thing started as a meme thing because it was at that time there were a lot of meme pages were like the big thing, like the Fat Jew and like Fuck Jerry and My Therapist Says. And I remember like I literally was I'm a late bloomer. Like I really am. Like I'm not an early, what are they called? Early innovators or early, like I'm not the first person
Early
to do something.
adopters.
Yeah.
Early adopters.
I'm not the first, which is like okay to say. Like I'm not. They were the first, right? They were like this, and that's why they have 10 million or whatever the fuck. And I remember I was just like, oh, you can like write things on Instagram and not just put a photo of your friend with the gazillion hashtags that we were just talking about. And I've always written and like had dumb Tumblr blogs and journals and shit like that. And I was like, oh, that'd be fun. I'll just like write little snippets of funny things. And it wasn't with any intention other than I'm a person that like, if I think of one thing right now, like I'm going to do it in the next minute, whether it's sloppy, ugly, stupid, won't work, which isn't always good. Like people would like plan the shit out, and think about it more. And I was just like, I'm going to open it. And like, I didn't even know what apps you use. I think I wrote like my memes. I don't know. I don't even want to go back and look at what they look like. So it started as a meme account, and I think the name, like most of my things had to do with food. I'd just be like, I'm so fat, I ate so much, and people were just like relate to it.
I just think it's so funny because, I mean, especially because like I'm sure when you were growing up, like it was not in the times of like body acceptance. Like I look back now at like growing up, and it was like get as thin as possible. And that is what we're all doing. That's what our moms are doing. And we grew up in Orange County, California, too. So it's part of the geography. But yeah, like it was very much like it was totally appropriate to tell someone, like, you look so skinny, like you look so good. And now that's like totally inappropriate. And we've totally gotten so much better as a society. But I think that's probably like why you blew up so much, because it's like, so many people used to that kind of language, and then it's like, wait, there's this girl being so real, like totally like relating to our experience of not fitting into this mold and not caring and like being like so free on some level.
Well, like, and I'm not like an ambassador of like body positivity at all. I'm not like post your stretch marks and your rolls. Like, you don't have to, and you don't have to do whatever you don't want to do. I just think like we all, as women, especially, even though a lot of men do too, have, like you said, like complicated relationships with our bodies, comparative natures with our bodies. And like, not to say that I've had, times in my life where I was at the heaviest, but I was like the most confident. I've had times where I was like super skinny, but like I actually wasn't going through a good time in my life at that time. So I think it's just like, I'm not at all trying to be like heading or spearing this body positivity movement. I don't think I'm the right person for it. And I don't completely understand it yet. I think we have a lot to understand about it. Sometimes it's like, can, skinny girls, be part of this thing? Is it only for larger lady? I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be like, and I love when people are like, you're not, not fat. Like, love that too. Love compliments, love like being called, like, I'm not there yet, but I know that my whole life I was not skinny. A lot of my friends struggled with that sometimes. I've had, people say to me, that it's positive. I remember like my friend's mom would always be like, no, it's good that you're like not skinny because guys like something to like hold on to. I was like 12 when she said that.
Oh, yeah. Those comments start so early.
And you're like, oh, okay, so they'll grab and it'll be nice for them. Gotcha.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we were talking about my lips before we started. So it was like DSL or whatever. And that never felt.
Oh my
So
God.
I was very like sexualized in a way. Like I was way more sexualized then than I am now. Now nobody's fucking sexualizing me, unfortunately. No people in my DMs, none at all. No one said, then it was much more like, it was like, I got my period young. So I was kind of like a woman at like 12, I feel like, in a weird way. But anyway, yeah, the name was literal. It started with memes, I think. And I started with not like, but it was only memes that related to me, right? So I wouldn't write anything like about like, oh, fuck, like your ex on the first date, because I was like married when I started it. So it would only be like about things that like so a lot of it was like food and, shit like that. And then, which is like really like, let's take a moment, because I wasn't showing myself, which is very unlike me. Like I was like in the shadows and no one knew who I was at the beginning or cared. And then I think it kind of naturally just like one day I kind of like showed myself, and I'm sure people were like, oh, ew, bye. Like, I don't want to like see this bitch. And then one day, it's going to end soon, you guys, I promise. And then one day,
no, I love it.
Like the natural progression of how
I can't get enough.
So then it became a little bit of me. And then whoever stuck around, like was down, like, oh, memes and this girl. And then, I would always like send my sister like celebrity stuff. So like, something would pop up with like the Kardashians or whatever. And I'd like arrow it over to her. And then one day, I don't know why, I was like, oh, maybe like I'll post this and people will care. And then so many people cared. And I was like, oh, and then I just started posting celebrity gossip and shit too. And I remember my sister, even recently, she told me like, when you started doing that, like that was like a moment for me to like accept that I'm no longer the person to like, because I know how so many people that follow me tell me they have like group texts where they talk about shit. Like, so that stopped. I was like, bang, like sharing it to everyone and not only to you. And she'll still like be like, that was like a sad, moment when you stop just sharing it with me. And then I had a baby, and that's on so it's now like just everything that I live for. And honestly, like celebrity gossip and pop culture, like, how like, Britney Spears home videos is like, since she was 2, she was, singing. Like since I was 2, I was like holding a microphone on a fake red carpet, like interviewing celebrities. Like that was always my dream and like my obsession. Like before there was internet, I was, at aisles in the, supermarket hiding with like a magazine that my mom wouldn't allow me to buy, but I would like read about fake Star magazine stories, and then cut to like, gossip websites. There were always like, Perez Hilton, Just Jared, shit like that. So that's basically, yes. So that's, that's basically it, I think.
One of the things that I have to tell you right off the bat is you said you're not like you're not like not necessarily not a proponent, but you're not like the spokeswoman for body positivity. And one of my favorite things about you like relates to that, because you posted this one meme one time and it was like, if your boyfriend wears smaller jeans, then you just break up with them. And I thought it was so funny and I loved it. But then you got all this hate and it was like, how dare you? How dare you say this? How dare you not like, welcome all bodies and how they relate to each other or whatever. And I just love I think my favorite quality about you is that you literally do not kowtow to the haters. You're like,
Never.
it's a joke, lighten up, relax. Like
Yeah.
you're not like deleting it or like issuing apologies on like, black backgrounds with white text. You just like always, I don't know, like keep it light and like don't care. And I love that.
It's just so exhausting to like, I get it. I get that we're moving forward in a society where we're trying to do better and be better. And like, sometimes I tried to not comment on Chloe's face, but I couldn't today. I couldn't because she contoured her nose out again. And like, I swear I wanted to be better, like for Chloe. And I feel like I even said like, I'm not going to talk about Chloe's appearance. And then I'm like, whoops, like did it again. And like, I'll see her quotes. Like yesterday, Chloe put up a quote and she was like, only insecure, women or something talk about other women badly. And like, I took a moment. I self-reflect a lot. And I'm like, am I like that person? Like, one of my qualities is like, I'm not insecure. Like, I think I know that. Like, I'm not insecure. Like, I'm able to obsess over women, right? I'm like, people like are gonna
Totally.
Hailey Bieber and Kourtney Kardashian are gonna like take out a restraining order of like how crazy I am. But so it's not to take a woman down or bring her down. It's just like I like it goes back to like, okay, if I was DMing it to my sister, like I would say this. So like I can either say it out loud and you guys are thinking it, but you're just not going to say it out loud. And I'm going to say it out loud. And if you want to judge me for it and pretend like your brain is holier than thou 24/7, then like you're lying. Like you're lying that you don't have bad thoughts. You're lying. So like the question is, do you put it out there? How much like like I don't want to be too negative, but then again, like I'm not going to like be this like PC ass bitch. I want my husband's clothes to be big on me. They're not always like I have a fat ass, he has skinny legs. I'll put on his shorts and like they'll be tight. That's not a fun moment for me.
No.
Don't you want to like you want to feel tiny? And that's okay.
You want to feel
like
tiny.
We're allowed. And like fuck whoever, says, we're not allowed to like feel that way.
Honestly, I appreciate your take on this so much. I feel like when you would talk about Em Rata, like there's something about the way that you articulate what everyone is thinking and like in the perfect, most relatable way. And like Em Rata, like I also struggle with this too. I'm like, am I just extremely jealous of her? Like I feel like I'm a secure person, but like there is something so freaking triggering about all of her posts to me. Like I was actually just on it like 4 hours ago and I was like, I hate this person. I don't know what to do. Why am I on her page again? Like get off. But I actually think I went on it after you posted that thing about liking her caption. But I don't know what it is. And it's something that like I even struggle with is like, how do you like see these women and like want to like, be a good like feminist, all that jazz. But then it's like, there's something different about like, I feel like loving Khloe Kardashian for like, the troubled person she can be versus like an Em Rata where it's like, this is actually like crazy and I can't like handle your content.
Let me tell you though, how many celebs slid into my DMs during the excuse the DACA situation.
Really?
That were like, oh my God, that fucking bitch. Hot celebs that aren't insecure, that aren't jealous of Em Rata. This is a very, very universal thing, and only annoying people don't get in. Would be like, leave Em Rata alone. Like I told you guys, Em Rata is really doing fine. Like she's so okay.
Yeah,
she does not need you to defend her. Like she is 2 days after birth. Like what she did, for people that don't know, like we'll just tell you real quick. If Em Rata 2 days after birth, I'm not one of those people that's going to be like, she cannot be hot because I wasn't hot postpartum. So like, you're making me feel bad. No, that's not her responsibility at all, that she has great genes and she looks like that. And I don't. She's allowed to put whatever the fuck she wants on her Instagram. No, I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who's saying, you want to post a hot pic? Post a hot pic. The fact that she did excuse the DACA, which is why it became such a phrase, because when I get obsessed with something, it's like I just like drill it into everyone's brain until they can't like deal with it anymore.
Consider the source.
Right. It's like you guys just can't get away from things. Is that is that I know how the human brain works because I have one. And like, she said, excuse the dot, even though nobody would have noticed the dot, because she wanted everyone to be 100% sure that this photo is not a throwback, ladies and gentlemen. This photo is current, and it's 11 days after I motherfucking gave birth. So you all need to know it. And like, because imagine if she didn't, we would be like, oh, maybe it's an old pic. That's fine. Like, she's hot, but like, she's probably still bloated from like having a baby. But like, no, she wanted us to know that dot is there. That baby was born 11 days ago. And this is my motherfucking body. And if you want to do that, then just be straight up about it. I think what was so annoying about it is like, you know, because like even, what's her name? Megan from E! News. Forgot her last name.
I don't know her.
Megan McCain? No.
Megan McCain.
Megan McCain's on The View.
Excuse me, Pop Culture Podcast. Oops. Megan, I mean, me too, right? I'm having a moment. She's the daughter. No, stop.
Oh, Megan. No, I was thinking Jenna.
Is she
Bush.
on TV? Like,
you guys are going to feel so dumb. You know, you guys are going to feel so dumb. Megan Stewart.
Oh, wait, you mean Morgan Stewart?
Yes.
Okay, Morgan Stewart of E! News. Yes, okay.
Because we love Morgan Stewart.
We love
like,
Morgan Stewart.
Morgan Stewart. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, I have a baby. But like, forgive me. Cut it and post. So Morgan Stewart, she posted like she was like 6 days postpartum, and she looks amazing. She's super, super tiny. But like, that's what she looks like. She said, I'm 6 days. You know, Mandy Moore just had a baby. She's back to her normal self in 2 days. A lot of these celebrities are, and I don't care. Like, you look amazing. It takes you more time to get back to where you were. You don't get back to, that's your fucking shit. Em Rata has a way of rubbing people the wrong way because of like the way she goes about it. Like the Versace stroller today, like, why? Like, no one, like, who has a Versace stroller? Even like the fucking princess doesn't have a Versace stroller.
Right.
I feel like, and this is why I feel like Em Rata is like an enemy to all women and like basically a terrorist. But like, I feel like she flexes her body in the name of feminism. Like, she's not only just like putting out like, I'm so hot from every single angle. Like, not only are we going to do some stills, we're going to get videos from everything. This is not a good angle. This is not my, you know, one good shot out of 30. It's just like, let's admire how hot I am constantly. But then it's also like, I'm also an activist. And like, this is like also like I have all these like thoughts on, I don't know, just like I have all these thoughts on being politically correct. And it's just like, wait, I'm sorry. When do we have to be force-fed feminism through Em Rata's like naked body flexing for all of our boyfriends and husbands on Instagram? Like, what reality is this? What third level of hell is this? That's my question.
Thank you. You just put it better than I ever could, because I forgot about those other like aspects. I forgot about, you know, the gender thing with her baby, and I forgot about the rallies with Lena Dunham, and I forgot about, like, I have in my brain the shot of her butt from like the ground. Like, who could ever? And she was pregnant, and like the camera, like I take a selfie from the ceiling to like look good, and you're gonna take a shot of your butt from the ground up, like in your butthole while you're pregnant. Like, no. And you're right, it's like a lot. And like every photo of her baby has been her bosom, her perfect,
it's tits McGee
brown bosom, like so round, so circular, so not leaking milk. Like, where's the milk? Where are the nipple pads? Like, so it's like, it's just like a wild concept that's like so extreme that it's like, it cannot be annoying. Like, no one's being like, oh my God, you're so cute with your perfect round tit and your baby's head. That, no, she fucking, and then what does she do? She posts a picture of her tit, her baby sucking on it. So you see the back of the baby's head. And then she shares it to her stories, which is fine. We're all trying to get more engagement. And she puts like a tap here thing as if you're going to see the baby's head, but you don't. You just see her tit, but not even her whole tit. So she's triggering. She's a triggering human. She knows it. We know it. Like, she did a Vogue fucking spread the title of the Vogue spread was Why I'm Letting My Baby Choose Its Gender and Tell Me at 18. And then forgot about it, named the baby Sylvester.
Whoops.
Put dinosaurs all up in his room, dresses him in the most gender non-neutral way ever. Like, I'm sorry, Noah's room is more gender neutral than Sly's room. And then, like, what about that? It was on Vogue. It wasn't on like the Hollywood, like something. It was a Vogue article in which you decided that to go with the main thing to be that your baby, first of all, it's not even correct. Like, it wouldn't take him till 18 to probably know his or her gender. But you literally put that in a Vogue article. And by the way, I listened to her on a podcast because I'm disgusting and like to like spin about things. I listened to her on a podcast. Yes, exactly. And she talked, again, it was about, you know, how she like owns, cause she had that whole thing about owning her image too, which again is like,
gosh.
I did
it's
a
like,
full
do we
180.
really have to weep for you over the fact that you got super famous for being extremely hot, and the photographer who took your pictures, like, yeah, he like utilized the photos to create like his own bullshit art. Like, no one's crying for you. You're perfect looking with millions of followers and tons of money. Shut up. Like, let's cry about things that actually are sad.
She's still like giving it away for free. Like, she's still posting all these super like sexy
well,
photos
that's
of
what
her. Like,
she's saying.
you know.
So that's the story that's like, on the podcast, she said this, and this is why I wanted to know it. I wanted to know like her side. So what she said is like, that's the reason I post these photos on my Instagram, because like I want to decide what I'm sharing. And like basically the Vogue article was something she like, we don't know how the inner workings work, right? But like, I think I heard that on the podcast is like her team, she wanted to do the Vogue article. So it doesn't always come from like the media being like, we want you.
Right.
It was her team being like, like, let's get Em Rata like a thing. So I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do that article that's so annoying and like self-righteous and like Hollywood trying to be like whatever, then at least stick with it for 5 days of your baby's life and don't name him Sylvester. And don't have his room green and blue with dinosaurs.
How you need. Right. I just don't understand how you need to process your like trauma. Like, maybe I'm gonna get canceled for saying this. Like, requires you to post 5 times a day, like hot naked selfies of yourself. Like, that just seems like a lot of freaking processing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
this is
the
thing is
it's
don't
like,
feel bad because like legit.
No, you're good.
I actually don't read comments on my posts. So I don't know like who's being like blah and who's being blah. But from what I've seen and the reactions that I got were very like it is, I feel like, just a consensus. And I feel bad for her. Like, I would want to be liked. You know what I mean? I don't think it feels nice that people aren't liking you. And I don't think people aren't liking you because you're hot and we're all just jealous and miserable, because there are a lot of hot people. Like, there are a lot of hot
so many hot people.
There's so many hot people, and we support them and we love them. And I feel like there's just a way to be, and not everybody needs to be relatable. We're not asking you to come down to earth and like try to be like one of us. Like, you don't need to be, but you also like are just like, the pictures that you're posting are just, I don't know. I feel like we're going to look back.
They push the limit of like hot photos. They're not just hot pics. They're like almost pornographic. And then it's like, I think it's like if Lisa Rinna could be with us today, she would say, just own it. Like, literally, she just needs to own the fact that she's a narcissist and loves being hot. We don't need to hear about how you posting thirst traps is in the name of like this injustice that was done to you. And we need to now just like, we are now privy to your like very public journey of healing. Like, I think we're good. Like, I think we can just understand that.
Well, last thing about Em Rata is that, like I said, a lot of celebs were writing to me how they feel about her. And one of them said, apparently she was also crying about her being so hot and like sexual was prohibiting her from getting like serious acting roles. And this celeb told me, like, how about you're not a good actress then? Like, how about that's the reason? So there's so many elements, right? We didn't even cover them all, and I don't want obviously her to take over this whole thing. But there's so many elements of like, no, it's not just that you're hot and we're all miserable and jealous. It's that so many things that you're saying and doing and putting out in the world are kind of triggering. Like, you know what I mean? That's
totally.
Right. Also, there are plenty of actresses who are extremely sexy and sexual, Angelina Jolie, like a la, who are wonderful actresses. Like it's not like one negates the other.
Right.
Yeah, that's like the key part of getting hired as an actress, even in 2021, is like being as hot as possible with as many Instagram followers as possible. So I like with as much like social media and like press attention you can bring to a project. So if you're not getting picked up for it, it's not because like of you've been typecast as too hot. Like that's not the problem.
They're not like we want Elizabeth Moss.
There's so much to dissect.
So much. Because now I'm thinking, I'm sorry, I just remembered another thing. Because like, how do we all know her? The blurred lines video, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, totally.
And she doesn't even own that. She like doesn't. She doesn't want to be associated with that. Like I've heard her talk about it, and it's like, ugh, like that video. Like that video. That's why we know you. Em Rata. Anyway, like I really do hope. Like if I'm such a person, like if she'll ever block me, I'll be like, I don't get it. Why did Em Rata? Would I ever do to Em Rata? No, I really hope and wish her well. And honestly, like I feel bad for her because I would rather be a little bit less hot, but like liked by people. You know what I mean? So,
no, but that's the thing. I mean, this is going to turn into like an Em Rata diatribe. But
our thesis
like,
on it.
Yeah, this is the Great American Novel on an audio form on Em Rata. But like, I do think that the reason why people hate her is because it's for one purpose of her hotness. So like that post baby pic, it's all about her body. And I called it. Like I said on this podcast months and months ago, I was like, just wait. After like as soon as possible, she's gonna post the thirstiest of thirst traps to like basically honestly to shame every other mother, like, or to at least just like flaunt how hot she is,
signal
that. And it's like just stay in that lane. If that's what you're doing, do it. But don't also have it wrapped up in this package of like, we need to then like, I guess, swallow this bitter pill of the fact that like you're doing this in the name of like feminism and female empowerment and like our own good as women. Like, no, unsubscribe.
Like make a donation to Planned Parenthood. Otherwise.
Are you the one that DM'd me that? Because someone DM'd it to me.
I probably did.
Like somebody DM'd it to me and was like, just wait. And like when she did the Excuse the DACA post, I was like, oh my God, I need to find the DM. Not that I could like, find it, but I was like, I remember I got a DM that was like, you just wait. And then it happened. And don't reduce her to a body. I don't remember where that came from, but it killed me. Oh, I know where it came from. It came from an annoying Karen comment that was like, don't reduce her to a body. I was like, she's reducing herself to a body
every day with swipe like multiple posts a day. It's fine.
Yeah. What killed me the most, oh my God, I'm sorry, there's just so much, is like, I can't believe I didn't do a whole podcast about this. What killed me the most is when DACA shared that photo and like linked the product to buy. And I was like, DACA, nobody fucking sees your product.
It looks like a shade in the fabric. Like you can barely see it.
That was the whole point. That's why it was so fucking funny. And I hope it lives forever.
That's so good.
Totally.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I feel like we need to do a slight pivot to something else very hot that just happened that I'm dying to talk to you about.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We are on the heels of Travis posting for Courtney.
Oh my God.
I'm shaky.
I'm unwell.
I need to hear all your thoughts, please.
Well, I was waiting all day to
for the
see
post.
What I knew that he was gonna like. There was gonna be something. There was gonna be an Instagram moment, and not only this dumb fucking gardenia tulip like display that like we get it. Like everyone sharing it and tagging him. Like Kanye never got that fucking love for like the walls of roses. Like everyone, Steph Shep tagging it. This like tagging Travis. So we know that everyone's like very pro this relationship, which I love. Okay, the photos. First of all, love that we got a series and
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But obviously we need to talk about the thumb sucking situation.
We have the video. That's what we're like waiting to talk to you about.
Yeah. That's the main event.
I don't know what to do. Like, first of all, you guys won't believe me, but it was like stuck on my phone, like repeating while I was trying to watch this IGTV tutorial about how to do my nails. And like, was on the background like, Travis, and I couldn't get it to stop. I was like, oh my God.
You can hear like the sucking sound too.
You can hear the sucking.
It's
That's
so
what I
gross.
commented. I commented it somewhere that it popped up again. I was like, the sound and the hand, right? So like if you're sucking someone's thumb, like let's say hands behind your back, sexual, but you're not envisioning a blowjob. She had her hand on the bottom of his thumb as if she was holding a penis, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean,
totally.
Like so many people, my little sister was like, no, I actually thought it was something else at first. Like I was again scared that I would get shadow banned.
I was ready to see something I was like not ready to see.
Totally.
And they have a finger sucking thing because if you guys remember the UFC, when they were at that UFC fight, they were photographed or filmed from an angle where I put it up and I was like, are they like sucking fingers? So they were, and that's their thing. And we know they edge. We know they love lollipops, and they love finger sucking, which I don't know. I need to process it for more time. I feel like such a prude because I'm thinking about like, okay, if Huz sucked my thumb, it smelled like spit after. Like, would I want that vibe? Like just in the middle of life, not in the middle of sex, like in the middle of life, I'd be like that smells like spit now. Like I don't like why?
Gross.
Like how sexual are they? Like they're so sexual.
Also, isn't he wearing a cast in it? Is that great? He's wearing like a cast. So isn't that cast kind of gross?
Maybe I was thinking like maybe his like when my wrist like acts up, so I feel like it's from the drums. Like he must have like blisters. Regularly. How sexual. Like who knew Courtney was so sexual?
Well, that's what I was saying. That's like I think one of the biggest revelations of the whole thing is like the gluten-free, like the most boring diet of all time, like just wants to be with her kids, doesn't like filming, just kind of on the least interesting to look at sister actually happens to be like the biggest freak. Like this is a huge day in pop culture news.
And imagine like she wasn't, but he like made her this sexual. Like is that possible?
I think it. I mean, he does something for me that no man has ever done. And really? I can't explain it. I don't know why, but like I watched a makeup tutorial of him and his like daughter. Not that it turned me on or anything, but I was like, this is a really sweet man. Sorry. It was just like this very sweet fatherly moment. And then it was like just juxtaposed with like his hot tattooed, even face tattooed. For some reason, like there's something about someone who's like very masculine, but also very like fatherly in the same way and tender that I'm like really into. I'm here for it. I don't know. I'm kind of like into him.
Did you watch Meet the Barkers like when it was on?
No. Did you?
Oh my God. Yeah, because I'm probably older than both of you, I feel like.
No, I don't think so. I'm 30 and Chan's, so we're like the same age, but Chan's like 25.
Oh, well, I'm 32. So I'm older.
I mean, that's the same as 30.
Barely. Yeah, it's the same. But so I watched it and I remember even watching it with my mom because my mom even remembers like he was such a good father and Shanna was kind of like lazy and like in bed all day and he was like with the kids.
Oh, interesting.
So like he is actually gentle, sweet, fatherly, all these things. And like he is allowed to have so many tattoos because he's never going to do anything but drumming, you know? So like it's not like he's going to go to a job interview.
He's not going to be on ZipRecruiter any day soon.
His sweatpants aren't bigger. You know what I mean? Like we need to think about how his sweatpants aren't going to be bigger on us. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
No, not a chance. Not with my ass.
I wonder if they're going to be, if they're big on Courtney. Probably not.
Probably
like
not.
His family?
He's tiny.
Oh no, sorry. Oh yeah, the sweatpants.
He's like tall, but like, you know, like he probably has small arms, you know, like small tall? Everything. Yeah, I feel like he's tall.
Like he gives me tall vibes. I think. Yeah,
I think he's tall.
No,
yeah. I'm Googling it.
No,
let's look it up.
I'm Googling it. No,
it's Megan Stewart all over again. Morgan Stewart.
Travis, we should know this.
He has tall person energy, right?
You guys, he's hugging her in the.
You're right. He's 5'9".
I told you. He's 5'9",
I think it's
6.
I
Are
think
you? No.
because it's
Yeah.
because
There's
Courtney's
no
such
way.
all those girls are such shrimps, except for Chloe and Kendall, that next to Courtney, he just looks so tall. Okay, we've got to the
Yeah.
bottom of
He's
it.
only 5'9". This
That
is
is
like
kind of
shocking
shocking.
to me. He has like 6'4" energy.
He does,
That's
for
why he's
He
sure,
has
hot.
over Instagram.
BDE
Yeah.
faux show.
Yeah.
And he has like trauma, like the plane crash and like everything he
Yeah.
went through. He's such a and he's vegan, which like I don't know about that. Like again, like
Oh my
I don't know if
gosh,
I
I'm
could
so
handle like
over.
a vegan man. I feel like it's a lot,
It's no, I absolutely cannot handle it. I'll tell you that much. And it's annoying. Like I'm so over hearing about the Kardashians being plant-based. And so if I have to have more of that content, I'm gonna like kill myself. Not really, but
Yeah, like I
mean,
need my man to like be eating a burger. Like I can't deal with you being like avocados all day. Like that's
Like I want to be the
even
one with like the
vegetarian is too
sensitive,
sanctimonious
like
for
yeah,
me.
100%. I just want to be the one in the relationship with like the stomach issues or like the dietary restrictions. Like I need my man to be like, actually it's actually the reverse of my current relationship, but like I need you to be able to like eat a steak, whole milk, like all of those things to like give me good masculine like energy. That like turns me on. It's a
Well,
problem.
and we like are both, like hearty, red-blooded American women. Like we
Yes.
order steaks, we order burgers. And so I'm not about to live a life where like suddenly I'm getting a burger with some dude eating fucking salad. Like absolutely not. Absolutely
or
not.
eating, or ordering an Impossible Burger. But I wonder, listen, if it's all in the name of like his wellness and like him still recouping from what he went through, and like he needs energy for all the sex. So like I'm sure they're like getting their protein in.
Here's the thing. When he posted the I all day I think about sex with you, like that was like that broke the internet in my brain. Okay, and I was not prepared for what we got today. Like it didn't even
No, the
like do it
thumb
for me.
sucking, like I can't believe she allowed that. Like I need to know
Yes.
what
I
happened
know, because
there.
she
Was he
approved
like
it, don't you think?
Was he like, for sure, was he like, you need to give me better head, so let's practice on my thumb? Like, what was
Yes.
happening in that moment of like that wasn't, I don't know how to explain you guys. There's no other way to see the video, but she's sucking his thumb instead of a penis. Like, it's
Yes.
inexcusable. We know what
Well,
Kourtney looks like sucking dick now. Like, we know
Yeah,
exactly what Kourtney
100%.
Kardashian looks like sucking dick, which like, I don't know. Like, do you want us all to like picture that?
I hate to be like this pearl clutching person, but I'm like her kids, like do I want my like isn't Rain like 11, 12? Like I just
Okay, first of all,
sorry,
Rain is
Mason.
6.
Sorry, Mason.
Yeah, yeah.
Mason. Whoops.
Mason could easily. We're bad today.
All
We're
of them
being
though.
banned
I know.
from
Whoops.
like removed from the pop culture like
This is a
category.
C-list pop culture podcast.
Yeah, they could definitely see it. It's a lot. All the other pics were really good and like sexual, but like not giving. Here you gave us like such a hardcore visual, like,
It's
and
too
it
much.
loops. It loops. Whenever you
Yeah.
watch the video, it loops. So you're just like,
Yeah.
traffic, and I'm like, oh, I'm so like, you guys, you don't understand. When I saw his post pop up, I literally, this is a true story, was like, and which happens 70 times a day in my house, but like, and my husband is like, I don't know why he asks me still. He's like, oh my God, what happened? And I'm like, no, oh my God, you don't understand. He's like, something good. And I'm like, yeah, something good. Like I couldn't speak. And he's like, oh, that's great. Like for us. And I'm like, it's not about me, but it's like, I couldn't even explain what like was happening. And I was like speaking in keywords and like not communicative for like 17 minutes. And I'm still like with it. I like called my sister again. I was like, did you see it? She's like, no. I was like, watch it, call me back. Like when other people are posting it, I'm still commenting on other people's posts, being like the sucking, the finger, the holding. Like I'm noticing different aspects about it. And I don't know what to do still. Like I'm still feel like I need to sleep on it.
I feel like they're just in that early honeymoon stage of a relationship where they're just so obsessed with each other. They're like so, like hungry for each other. And I feel like they're just going to look back and be so embarrassed. Like they're going to be like, what were we thinking? I mean, especially because like on one level, I love it because like Courtney's like 42. And so there's something very great about her like embracing her sexuality in this very public way. But then on this other hand, I'm like, you are 42 too. This isn't like a dumb 20-year-old mistake. Like it's kind of cringy.
Okay, I wouldn't even
Like you
post
should
that.
know
Like
better.
I'm a dumb, 25-year-old. Like I would never post that. It's not even like
No.
that is like I mean, maybe the all day I'm obsessed with having sex with you is like maybe something more like along those lines, but this is like truly grotesque.
This is a lot, and I'm such a Kravis fan, and it is a lot, but I still like when I get obsessed with somebody, like I love everything. So I'm like, I love it. But it made me think about just like, okay, if you're friends with somebody for so many years and then you become a thing, like I feel like I was like thinking about it. I was like, how did it become from friends to so sexual? Like usually when you're friends first, it's like a mutual,
Mhm.
like deep love of like character, but also, I mean, intimacy. But how are they around each other for so many years and not having sex if they're so sexual now? Like, how are you just
Right.
friends?
Yeah.
I want to know when that shift happened and like how it happened. Um, and what's going on. I need to know every single detail about this relationship. And I really hope that what people are saying isn't true and that because how do they say like strongest flames burn out the fastest or
Burn
something?
Oh,
out.
burn bright. Like
Yeah.
burn bright and
Fastest or
burn out
whatever.
or whatever.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We're not poets.
We're not both. But like what I'm saying is like, is it so crazy? And like the tattoo, people were saying that
Right.
like it's bad like omen to get somebody's name tattooed, which like not for him. I'd be actually offended if he didn't get her name. Because like you're getting everything, you're like you'd get poop on you. Like someone say something funny, he'd get it. Like he'd get
He
anything.
Exactly. This is not like one tasteful tattoo on his like, upper arm, like Tim McGraw or Faith Hill. And that's like one of his only tattoos. This is one tattoo, probably over like 3 old ones. And that can just be
He
like
has to
like
superimpose
tattooed
it.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, so speaking of shifts though, you have made a shift because you used to be such a Courtney and Scott shipper and like truly gunning for them. And so how are you coping with her having found love with Travis, and do you feel like ultimately they'll find their way back to each other?
And sorry, one other thing. Thoughts on Scott and Amelia?
Yeah, well,
I am very honest, like on my Instagram and like podcasts, that like don't stick to my feelings.
mhm.
Like I'm not like one thing for life, one like I can change. So no, I'm over Skourt. Like of course I can
Wow.
appreciate, yeah, I can appreciate the moments. I can go like I love the moments, right? Like all their moments, they had such a good banter and like all the shit.
Mhm.
Today's Scott, first of all, Scott fucked up with Courtney. Like, yes, and I may just be discovering this, but it's the same thing. Like, I used to think Justin Timberlake was amazing. I don't think that anymore today.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
No. Yeah.
but he fucked up so badly, but we don't know it because then there wasn't internet and there wasn't sleuthing. And like, we probably can assume that he did cheat on her. You know what I mean? We can assume that
Yeah.
that's what all their
Oh, for
relationship woes.
sure.
Yeah. So we can assume like the relationship woes that we had in keeping up when like she was kicking him out and crying about him and like, you're not good, that was probably cheating as well as excessive partying, flirting with girls. He probably fucked up so fucking bad because all she wanted was like a perfect family and like whatever. So that we need to kind of remember. Also, he's like kind of grossing me out lately because I feel like would I want in an ideal world where I could like just actually decide like, oh, I want to date like Brad Pitt or like she knows like everything that he is because of her and her family.
Yeah.
And like who
Totally.
would he
Totally.
be? He would probably
Yeah.
still have money and he would probably be still doing party stuff because he like grew up in Long Island and like whatever, but I just feel like there's something kind of losery about him lately. And I feel like also on the show, he's
Mhm.
very much putting on an act to be the person that like he thinks the audience wants him to be. That's how I feel lately. Like all these
always
things.
wants Courtney. Totally.
Right. It's like stop. And like my sister said it well. She doesn't so often say something and hit the nail on the head. But with this, I was like, oh my God. Like I feel like he knows that the audience like wants that, like wants Scott to want Courtney. So he like him telling her how disrespectful to Sophia was that when he was like, yeah, I ended it because like I said you were my priority. You had a 3-year relationship with Sophia Richie. Like you're gonna make it seem so minute, like on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And that's why Courtney's with her monotone being like, yeah, it's because she knows it's bullshit.
She knows it's bullshit, and I feel like this is why this show honestly needs to go off the air because it's truly so boring. Like they're doing like such contrived like like they're doing the
UFO
whatever that was
searches.
like the UFO search, the like doing the Spartan race or whatever they did. It's just all so dumb, and they don't talk about anything that matters. They don't talk about Kim and Kanye. They don't talk about Tristan and Khloe. Like nothing actually interesting. And so I feel like they have this agreement, like the Courtney Scott relationship is bullshit. And so this is the one we're going to talk about because no one is actually emotionally attached to this. So we can play it out. We can have these conversations over dinner in Malibu, over the ocean of whether or not we're going to get married someday with everyone at the table because everyone knows it's a fake conversation.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's real quick, I was just going to say, I think it's also his way of securing himself as a fan favorite and like getting that check. You know, like it's his way of being like, I will always be loved by the audience, so I will never like have a reason to get, go off the show, or they'll always want me on the show.
So that's exactly what my sister said, that I was saying like that she made such a good point where I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Because yes, we know that it's contrived. Like I feel like don't underestimate our intelligence, like be a little bit contrived, give us a subplot. This is what I said on my last podcast where we talked about keeping up is like give us like a sub contrived plot. Like there always was. If we look back, like there was always like whatever was going on. And then, a prank on Bruce or like, whatever.
Yeah.
You're now literally giving us a completely contrived show where like, I don't want to get too philosophical, but like with social media today, like we know what's going on with Kanye. We know what's going on with Tristan. We know what's going on with Travis. We know all this shit. So it's like, we are feeling played by you. So like, totally. I get that it's quarantine. I get that whatever, but like, it's not enough. Like it is enough. This is like a side note. I can tell Lauren that like, you're like, I'm like a loyal, like I'll watch them legit shake the salad. Like I'll put it on. I'll like breastfeed. Like I'll do whatever I have to do.
They're
but, like,
texting
I'll watch
in their kitchens. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'll literally do that. Like, yeah. But I also know that like, I don't know. I'm having so many thoughts. Like, are they giving us this shit season because they don't care because it's the last one on E and like then they'll like put more of an effort in with Hulu? Like, I don't know what to think as to why they would serve us. Like, why they would disrespect us. It's almost like disrespectful to be like to like do this shit, like the UFO shit, like that. It's literally like that's not nice. The Scott shit,
Tristan,
when Courtney and Scott ended up in the same house, like by accident, like, oh my
gosh,
Pushkanushk? Oh, Pushkanushk is with mom. Oh, where? Like, come on.
Totally. Well, and also it's like, I feel like it's so funny. Like I'm looking at Kendall on the show and like finally we're like seeing a little bit of Kendall. Like Kendall has always been like such like a B character who like sometimes dips into a dinner or like doesn't. But suddenly like Kendall like I guess isn't on the runway because it's quarantine. So she's like participating in the show. But it's like even Kendall puts forth like zero effort. Like we know like when we're podcast recording, like you need to like think of things to say. Like you can't just like say like the most boring, obvious things. And Kendall in an interview, it's just the most boring, obvious statements. It's like, yeah, I have 3 kids. Gonna be a long night. Crazy. It's like, can you think of something interesting to comment on this situation? Like zero effort. Zero.
So that's such a good point because like I've said this before. I don't know who I had on my podcast and like I have the AC on right now because I know I'm gonna sweat because you're like aggressively speaking, you're intentionally speaking, you're on, like, that's why, like, when people think it's easy, like, relatively, like, we're not coal mining, but it's not like easy. And that's why, like,
Totally.
so many people are like, oh, we could have a reality show and it'd be funny, or so many people think this about themselves because what are we comparing it to? You're right. Like, legit, Kenny. Like, give us fucking something.
Something.
Like, something. And, like, everyone, give us something. Like, something. So I feel, yeah, this season is very, disrespectful. Like, that's how I feel with the storylines. Like, give us one real one. And we've accepted that changing, we've accepted it became like obvious hair and makeup and glam and
Yeah.
all those things. But I feel like Chris is like I feel like she keeps it the most real, like, out of everyone.
Yeah. Like when Chris broke down at MJ's party, like I was like, oh, now this is why I watch this show, because I do love these people. Like I love seeing their human moments, but we don't see any of that out of like, or like we just see it's so far and few between. And I feel like with Kendall, like the biggest crisis we saw was like her acne gate. I'm like, okay, snooze. Like we all went through that. I'm like, I want to see some Devin Booker. Like I want to see like a little bit about your romance. Like give us something.
Do you think that their Hulu show will just be a continuation, or do you think it'll be basically like really long infomercials about like behind the scenes of making Skims, and interviews with Sarah Howard or whoever Courtney's assistant is, like for a Poosh?
I really hope, even though everything we talked about right now, that it is like a keeping up, because I hope that then, no, I do. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I still want it. Like, I still crave it. And I don't want that. That's what I keep thinking. Cause you guys know, like, if you follow me, that like, I'm very like, I don't like speculating. Like, I like confirmations of things. So yes, we know there's going to be a show on Hulu. We also know Kim like responded to a comment a little while ago where she was like, when someone was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sad this is ending," she's like, "No, we're not going anywhere. Like, we're just gonna be on Hulu." So like, I feel like it seems like they are insinuating that it is gonna be a show about them, but I have this lingering fear where it's gonna be like Kylie cooking in the kitchen with Stormy, like what you're saying, like,
yeah.
which like, or Kendall producing a segment. Like, I don't want that shit. Like, that's not like, I don't want it.
Like it's gonna be like the Caitlyn Jenner YouTube channel just on Hulu, essentially.
No, so I'm not here for it, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like everyone's just assuming it's going to be keeping up. And I'm like, okay, I know that's probably like 70% what's going to happen, but I feel like there is a 30% chance it's going to be like different kind of sub shows.
Oh, I think it's going to be totally different.
Oh, really?
That's my prediction. I know you don't like speculating, but that's my prediction. Oh, for sure. I just don't think that they got a better deal and that's why they changed. I think that they're done with reality. Like the kids are getting too old. And I guess they're not going to give their kids the great gift that Kris Jenner gave them, which was like a huge audience and tons of money at a young age. Like I guess they're going to shield their kids from the public, like the cash cows that they've been feasting off of or whatever. Right. But yeah, I think they're done with reality, and I think it's really going to be like their products and produce segments about their products. Oh
my God.
Yeah, that's my dark opinion.
Snooze.
I mean, I think you might be, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you might be right. And that's why from the beginning, whenever I was like, it's ending and everyone's like, they're moving to Hulu, I was like, that doesn't mean it's going to be keeping up. Like, it's going to be something different. Like you said, like, I feel like there could be a Kylie making something in the kitchen because like that she puts that up a lot, or like her drunk YouTube things, and I feel like again we might watch it, but you can't keep like fucking milking us for everything we have. God,
yeah.
Although
I will say that I did find the critical conversation between Courtney and her best friend / employee to be actually like a pretty riveting piece of television, because most of us can relate to like having had a job like that was either like basically from a friend or like nepotistic in some way, and suddenly having to like see your friend as your boss, and everyone kind of I feel like has been through that. So I feel like that was actually interesting. So maybe if it is a reality show about the businesses, that actually might be good. I don't know.
Wait, are we just gonna gloss over her friend and not discuss that she came on after like a chemical peel or something.
Oh, I just thought it was bad melasma.
Oh, now I feel bad. Oh, okay. MVM.
Yeah, I don't know. But
No,
but
but what do you mean? Why didn't she like glam it up for the like why did Courtney do that to her? Courtney was glowing,
yeah,
looking
glowing,
amazing.
stunning.
Her friend came with like a bucket hat, but not like the cool Gen Z kind, like the one your
Totally.
baby wears like in the pool. And like I don't know, she had like 50 layers of 100 SPF. Like I don't know what was going on, but like she looked so mad too. She looked so mad.
I just can't even imagine being in a position in my life where Kourtney Kardashian, first of all, I probably have some bullshit title. Like I'm the chief content officer for this major brand, but have no experience because I'm Kourtney Kardashian's friend.
Right.
Like I can't even imagine having lucked into that situation and then being like, sorry, too much traffic, can't get to West Hollywood for lunch. Like I couldn't believe when she was saying that
Yeah.
they wouldn't come over.
Yeah, like she's like, I just think we should do sandwiches. You couldn't come over for like the chef made sandwiches at the Malibu house or like wherever they were. No, I couldn't believe it either. I couldn't. There was one employee who you could tell wasn't a friend who was fucking petrified whenever the camera panned him. And he's like, no, we crystal clear. He was like so nervous to lose his job.
That's me.
I was like, who's this baby? But it's funny. Yeah. I mean, Poosh is just so funny. It's like literally, I know they're doing like, they're doing basically like affiliate links, you know, within the articles,
Yeah.
but it's just so funny where she's like, I'm researching this thing for Poosh. And it's like, Courtney, drink your matcha out of your Williams Sonoma giant glasses. And like, but it's cute. It's cute.
She's authoring her peer-reviewed articles about which chamomile tea is the best.
Which matcha before bedtime for sex? Like
Yeah, for sex. But now it's legit a sexual wellness website
it is.
now.
Every
legit.
third article is about sex, which I'm kind of down for.
I'm down for it too, but like we get it, Courtney. We knew, but like when the edging article came out, I was like, yeah, she's edging. Like they're edging. The thumb sucking was probably, oh my God, it's probably all connected. The thumb sucking is part of the edging.
The whole UFC thing was an edging event. Like, yeah, we have to open our eyes.
Oh my gosh. Wait, okay, I'm dying to ask you. Speaking of kind of like, I know this is a little bit of a segue, hard left turn, but speaking of kind of cringeworthy Instagram content, do you follow Heather Ray Young on Instagram?
I do not.
Selling Sunset.
But I do know what you're talking about.
I mean, if you want to be entertained, this is for the listeners. This is a public service announcement. This is the good deed I'm doing today. This podcast, go to her Instagram because it is the most cringeworthy content of all time. First of all, it's a romantic ode to her boyfriend, her fiance Tarek, who has like a TLC show about like home makeovers. And then it's like he does also the same like cloyingly embarrassing romantic posts like every other day. It's so, and they're like long. Oh, I never knew I'd find my best friend at this age. Like they're like 30, he's like 40 or whatever. And then she just posted this thing of like, she's like wearing a Chanel bag and it's this like TikTok video. And it was like, when I grew up from a small town working at a Trader Joe's, and then I moved to LA to model, and I sold my first house. I sold a house that was worth $7.2 million my first 3 months into real estate. You can do anything. Like, just believe in yourself. And it's just the least self-aware content of all time. But the entertainment value is 10 out of 10. Sorry for the soliloquy.
Wait, but you're forgetting to mention that the ending is like, what do you think? What career goal do you want to have for the engagement?
The most contrived engagement bullshit.
I hate it.
After every single...
I'll never put a question mark just so I don't want to even be close to the realm of the fucking engagement shit. I hate the engagement shit. Why? Get 40 comments, get 70 comments. Who cares? Like, why? Who are you? Everyone knows. No one is blind.
Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend? But you don't care, Heather Ray.
You're not reading this. You're not reading this.
Which one do you think I should choose? That's what I thought you were going to say. But it's so funny because they were on my podcast, which I was surprised they wanted to do because I've made fun of them before. But it was like, sometimes like I feel like celebrities or reality stars, like if it's good, make fun. Like I'm not like being like that ugly cunt, it's like, there are photos at Nobu like that I thought were funny, like with the Nobu thing in the back. Like they're cheesy. I think the name for them is cheesy. They're just very, very, very cheesy. And I have to say, on my podcast, like they are that. Like they're like, no, you go first, honey. No, you go, honey. No, you tell her, honey. Stop, honey. Like, not joking. I was like, oh my God, you guys are literally like what it is. Like, which is so interesting about the podcast world when you get to meet people and they are exactly what your expectations are, or they're not. But they were first of all, she is gorgeous. Like she is actually,
she's beautiful.
She came on the podcast with like a Yankees baseball cap and like her ponytail and like the thing. And he's like, no, come on. How cute is she? Is she not the cutest in the world? I'm like, no, she really is. She really is the cutest in the world. And stop, honey. No, you tell the story, honey. Like that, like legit that. So I think they are. I think they literally are this like cutesy, cheesy. He has a boat called like Bad Decisions. He has a boat that's called Let's Make, like I'm not joking. And they are just like cheese balls. They are very big cheese balls. But Selling Sunset is another one that's like, all the girls there are like competing for Instagram followers and likes, and they're all trying to get engagement. Mm-hmm. And they all just need to like, it's like, I don't get the like, the like, okay, I get it, right? Like you want to succeed like I get it, but like I also just like be yourself. I don't know. It's hard to watch people claw for more Instagram followers or likes. Yeah. And I could tell that the Selling Sunset chicks are at an Instagram war. Like each girl wants like more than the other. Right. And it's kind of like Mary, just like sell a house, even though Mary is really the sweetest person ever, I think.
I like Mary a lot. Totally. Yeah, Mary. Totally.
And Maya. Oh, Maya. Yeah. I love Maya. I actually love them all. Maybe not Christine Quinn. I like didn't even cover her things because I was like, no, I'm not so into Christine Quinn.
But at least like, okay, to really bring it full circle, at least Christine Quinn is so extra and it's all about her being hot, but there's no bullshit otherwise. It's not like, this is in the name of some cause, or like this is to, try to, digest the tragedy I experienced 10 years ago when someone told me I wasn't beautiful. So now I'm going to, forever post hot pictures. Like, no, it's just like, she's hot and she wants people to know it, and she's rich, she wants people to know it. And I'm here for that. I don't really care. It's fine.
She just knows she has to bring, I don't think like her token is like, I'm the hottest bitch. I think it's like, I wanted to be on Days of Our Lives and play a bitch, but since I didn't get roles, I'm gonna just play a bitch on Selling Sunset, and she knows that. Totally. And she's fine with it.
Totally. Chan, do you have anything else? I know we're basically at the hour mark, so
I know we're at hour 15. Yeah, we're like far past time, so I want to be respectful of that. But we have some listener questions, but maybe we'll just choose one. Will you answer really quick? Do you have time?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. It's like rapid fire. So somebody wanted to know what your favorite celebrity scandal of all time was.
Okay, I fucking hate questions because I know. Like, how am I supposed to think of one right now? Well,
I know. I'm listening to your last pod where you're like, what's your Real Housewife tagline? I'm like, okay, not asking that.
Oh my God, stop. Where did I say that?
In your last pod, you were talking about how you hate like the icebreaker questions, which I also get. I hate it.
I get it. But I would say, I think that the recent scandals were like Avi, my fave, like HB2, Hilaria Baldwin. I mean, not being Spanish, Armie Hammer. I feel like we had some really good ones just now, like breaking at the end of 2020. So I would say those are like, and obviously like Jen and Brad. But yeah, sorry. Wah, wah.
No, it's great. It's great. The world will never know peace from Hilaria. Never. She's like back at it.
If you guys want to be entertained along with Heather Ray Young, watch the chaoticness that is Hilaria Baldwin's Instagram.
Yes, honestly. If you want to see her doing yoga on the stove, you can catch her at Hilaria Baldwin. H is silent, okay? And Amanda, they can find, if you don't know who Amanda is, if you've never heard of Not Skinny But Not Fat, you can find her at Not Skinny But Not Fat and her podcast, by the same name. It's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, girls. This was so fun.
So fun.
A dream, truly. Big love for you, truly.
That's all for now, folks. Don't forget, give us a 5-star review, hit us up on Instagram at Apologists, and we will see you next week, live every Wednesday.